up, everybody? I wanted to jump on real quick tonight and kind of share with you what I was in the middle of. So behind me here I have the valve body out of my F150. If you've seen some, or if you follow the channel and you've seen some of my previous videos, there was one year or two ago where I actually put a new rear end in the truck, or replaced the rear axle because I was having differential issues. So recently, about a month ago, I had the check engine light flash, and then it went away, and as I was driving I noticed that the truck would not downshift. It was keeping up with pace, but after I started it, restarted it, everything went back to normal. I didn't know what it was. I came back home, hooked it up to my scanner and checked. It's a 2015 Ford F150, and the code that it was showing, I think, was a P0720, which if you look it up, it comes back as an output speed sensor issue. So I thought, no big deal. We have a trip next month, and I was thinking about driving the truck. We were seeing some family out of state, and so I thought, well, I don't want to drive it if I have this issue. So I thought, well, I better look into it. Then this previous weekend, I had left my parents' house, and it was almost acting as if I had it in manual. And if you know anything, or you've driven any of these Fords that have the manual selection, it just kind of keeps you in first until you shift it out of first. So it runs the RPMs up, and that's what it had kind of acted. So I thought I had put the truck in manual. It was actually in drive, but it was keeping my RPMs up. And then when I started to accelerate and take off from the stop sign, it downshifted really hard. So I thought, okay, it's time. I need to figure out what's going on. Well, older transmissions, and I've been around the block turning wrenches, but older transmissions used to have an input-output sensor that kind of came through the outside of the case of the transmission. So I thought, maybe it's a sensor they've got located somewhere on the engine, maybe it's on the transmission. Long story short, I didn't think it was going to be anything major. So after doing some research this week, I could not locate a sensor anywhere. I've tried looking up the part, I've tried digging, looking at different stuff to find out where is this code coming from for Fords, and why is there no information on the internet. I'm usually pretty decent at digging in and finding what it is I'm looking for, whether it's a blog or somebody's YouTube video or whatever. But again, like I said, I wasn't having any luck coming across any information. So what I ended up coming across was a blog that some people were talking about. It's an internal type transmission as far as the electronics go. And then I found a gentleman's YouTube channel. I do not remember the name of it offhand, but I am going to include a link in the description down below. It walks you completely through the entire process of what I'm doing. So I don't really feel a need to try to get underneath the truck and film all of this stuff of what I'm doing. I wanted to kind of more help anybody out that may need this video in conjunction with his, as far as information and what my truck was doing. And then I'm going to do an updated video to tell whether or not this takes care of the issue that I was having. From everything he recommends, and I think he is a Ford technician of some sort, or was previously, but from everything he said, these are highly problematic. I believe this transmission's in multiple vehicles Ford makes from 2012, 2013, all the way possibly to current. I'm not 100% on that, but I know they're very common, and they're relatively new as of this video. So it's, I believe, an R680 transmission. Again, I don't have all the info right in front of me, but I'm pretty certain, going off memory, that's what it is. But what is inside of this transmission is what Ford is calling a lead plate. If you try to find this part with that terminology, I did not have any luck finding it anywhere. Everything that I found through any of the aftermarket parts stores, it's called a connector plate. So hopefully that helps you as far as narrowing the search down. This one is made by Dorman. Everything that I found out there, I didn't even see a motorcraft replacement for it. I'm sure it's obtainable, but from everything I was looking at, they have kind of tried to fix this problem via this piece of foam right here that is supposed to help keep dirt and other debris out of these terminal spades. And supposedly, according to his video, again, check it out in the link, I'll have the video there, he does an entire, it's better than anything that I could probably do in my garage, because the truck's up on a lift. Everything's, it's just a good video as far as walking you through step by step of what I'm doing. But again, that's what he was saying is all these terminal spades is the problem of why these trucks are having this issue, is because dirt and grime gets built up in between these spades that lock into all of the solenoids within the valve body of the transmission. So again, here we are with a more than it should be complicated issue. Again, hopefully this takes care of my issue. I ordered everything part-wise off of Amazon. It was the cheapest that I could find it. This part on Amazon, which I will also add in the description down below, was $130. I cross-priced the part on AutoZone's website, and it was $280 for the same Dorman part. I'm not rich, I'm sure you all aren't either, as far as just having extra money to give away, so I just ordered everything, double-checked part numbers, in cross-reference to make sure that they worked with my truck, because AutoZone's really not good about vehicle fitment, or that hasn't been my experience in the past. Maybe yours is different. But again, that's what I'm working on to kind of show you. This is the new one, obviously, to kind of show you what it looks like mounted to the valve body. This is going to be what you're going after. This is the valve body of the transmission. As you can see, I'm going to try not to spill oil everywhere. These are all of the solenoids that are on the back of the valve body that plate locks into. And then there's the connection that comes through the outside of the transmission that I guess services all the electronics within the valve body. So apparently that's what makes them so problematic. I don't know. Hopefully this fixes my problem. I wanted to share it with you guys because, again, I had to put some pieces of the puzzle together, even off of his video, based off of what my truck was doing. And I wanted to show you, you know, basically what it looks like. Try to correct some of the terminology issues that I had. I think that was about it. The only other thing that I noticed he didn't share in his video, this transmission does not have a traditional style dipstick on it that comes up through the hood of the truck, and I'm certain probably most of the other trucks do not as well. There is a dipstick that's transmission mounted. It's really shallow, and there's a plug on the top side of the transmission. He showed that portion of it, and maybe I missed it in his video. I thought I watched everything, but I was uncertain, how am I going to fill that transmission? I assumed I was going to need some kind of a pump, or to have to put the fluid into a bottle. The internet said that the truck holds 11 quarts. I ordered 10. Again, it was a lot cheaper. If I need an extra quart, I'll go get an extra quart of fluid. But what I ended up picking up at AutoZone this evening was just a small hand transfer pump. If I can find one of these on Amazon, I'll link it in the description as well, because it's probably something that you're definitely going to need if you're going to do this on your vehicle. From what I can tell, most of all the parts are interchangeable amongst the different makes of vehicles that the R680's in. I would still make sure, even if all of the information that I put down in the description, that all of these parts fit your make, model, and year. So that's really all I have to share with you all. Again, there was a little bit of information that I was lacking, and I wanted to share with you guys. Since I was into it, I thought, man, I want to video it, but I'm not going to video it because I'm doing it off of jack stands in my garage floor. It's going to be really difficult for me to get the camera angles and the stuff that this guy's channel was doing. And I figured it really would be easier just to cross-reference his video, because it's so much better. footage than I would be able to obtain. So again, that's what my truck was doing. It was a shifting input or output speed sensor code that I was getting for my truck, and it's came and gone over a month. Oddly enough, this week leaving work, I have an F250 that is my day-to-day work truck that my company owns, and it was the day after I ordered all these parts for my personal truck. I left our shop in the morning and my truck started, it wouldn't accelerate. I would push the accelerator down and then it would jump really high in the RPMs and jerk the truck, and then it would fall out again, and then the engine light started flashing. I'm assuming that this is the exact same issue. I have not gone underneath of that truck to look to see if it's an R680 transmission. My gut tells me that it's the exact same thing. That truck only has about 30,000 miles difference from what mine is, and it's right around the same year. The only difference is it's an F250. So apparently it is a problem amongst a lot of these Expeditions and F150s and different things that have this transmission in them. So again, I will put out an updated video to share whether or not this takes care of my issue within the truck. I'll also share all of those parts and pieces that I have ordered down in the description. Other than that, I believe that takes care of it for me on this video. As always, we look forward to seeing you on the next video. We appreciate you tuning into the channel. We appreciate all the support, the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. And as always, take care and have a good day.